Yeah, so that we can move to listen to the other nominees that are yet to come in. So let me, okay, there's another learned person behind there. Let's give him the opportunity to speak. Senator Kaka from Borno.
Thank you, Mr. Senate President, distinguished senators. My name is Kakasheu Lawan. I represent the good people of Borno Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, let me thank you most sincerely for this opportunity. The nominee standing before us, Dr. Musa Aliyu, was my classmate at the Nigerian Law School, Buhari. He is extremely intelligent, a team player, highly incorruptible, and a down-to-earth person. As students of the law school, he is always in the forefront of having his colleagues in group discussion. And he always advised positively, even as a young person in the year 2003. We later became members of the Nigerian Bar Association after we were called to the Nigerian Bar. He was a member of a lot of committees in the Nigerian Bar Association. He led a lot of committees, and he has never been found wanting in any. Mr. President, he was later appointed the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of Jigawa State, a position he held till today. His track record cannot be overemphasized. He was a member of the Council of Legal Education between 2019 to 2023. He is presently a member of the prestigious body of benchers. He's a bencher. Mr. President, the nominee before us is extremely intelligent as such, and he is also a senior advocate of Nigeria designate. I do agree with my distinguished colleague, Senator Babangida Hussaini. They have put forward a material that Nigerians will be proud of. Mr. President, this administration is giving youth the chance to exhibit their qualities and style of leadership. And in Musa, you have one of such type of qualities. As such, I want to urge my colleagues to kindly, in the spirit of the youth given opportunity to contribute their quota in the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, allow the nominee to take the leave of the Senate. Thank you, Mr. President. I so submit.
Thank you, Senator Kaka. Well, we give Senator Oshomole just 1 minute because I think it's the opinion of the majority of senators that we should round up because it's aside by the minority leader and Senator Alero, that's eminently qualified. So, but let's give the last chance to Senator Oshomole to bear his mind. We have 1 second, sir. 1 minute, sorry.
I think Mr. President, sir, I rise to associate myself with the sentiment expressed by both learned and even we, the educated members of this Senate. The issue of corruption is not about being learned or being unlearned, it's about character. I think from my conversation, informal, without knowing he's going to be nominated for this sort of position, I have the privilege to relate with his former boss, former governor of Jigawa State, and he was very proud of the way in which he approaches work. And as a former governor, I know how corrupt attorney generals can compromise state interests. The young man standing before us has done the opposite. He has protected the corporate interests of Jigawa State, using not only his knowledge of law, but deploying his robust character to be consistent, to be determined, and ensure that the larger picture is protected. The only advice I want to give him, in his opening remark, he mentioned senators who are his friends. Now, if those senators get into trouble, I hope he will resolve the issues in favor, in line with his character, for which he is very well known. So I rise to support, sir.
appreciate Your Excellency.
From your faces, I can see that your view is that we can end it here, and then is that correct? Am I correct? Should we stop here so that we can tell it to bow and go? Those in favor say aye. So, Mr. Nominee, you can answer the questions and then you take your bow and go.
Mr. President, the question asked by the minority leader. What we try to do in the ICPC under my leadership is that the most important thing which we need is the issue of proactiveness. We need to be proactive in issues pertaining to corruption. What we need to do is that we need to ensure that we examine some of our system where there are gaps. We try to block them so that they will minimize the incidences of corruption, which will lead to certain things. And in the event it happens, which definitely it will happen, then we have to make efforts to ensure that we trace assets subject of corruption and recover them, revert back to the government or hand it over to the victim of the crime. And I also want to ensure that I carry this distinguished National Assembly and also members of the public in public enlightenment and education about the impact of corruption, so that people on the streets, market women, students, they will know that they have responsibility as citizens of this country to cooperate with the government and sister institutions to ensure that we tackle this cancer so that we will have resources that will be put in development of this country. Because that will give us a good image in the international community. I lived in Malaysia for 3 years, and I know how they look at us. So there is need for us to make efforts to change the narrative. That's what we are going to do. And also, I want to thank this National Assembly for passing the Proceeds of Crime Management Recovery Act 2022. That law is very, very vital. It will help in tackling the issue of corruption. And also, there is need for strategic collaboration. I will ensure that we have strategic collaboration with the National Assembly, the judiciary, the civil society organizations, the NBA, and the international community, so that to confront this problem which is far deep in our country. Because I feel if we have this kind of approach, we may be able to tackle the problem of corruption, it will minimize it, and also by taking along the National Assembly, the members of the public, we will be able to know or we'll be able to tackle the issue of corruption, which this is what I will do. And I want to say it was all humility. When I was Attorney General from 2019-2023, I led the reform myself. I subjected myself to transparency. Whatever I'm doing, I lead by example. And I want to assure Nigerians that I know one day I will account of my deeds, not here, but in the year after. And I want to assure you that I will live above board. And I will ensure I am fair, firm. We will ensure that we never try to orchestrate, to put shame to people unnecessarily or something that is not fair. Because the Constitution has guaranteed the presumption of innocence. And also ensure that there is thorough investigation before we take steps to do any other thing, if it may happen. So I want to assure you that you will find me a leader of anti-corruption agency who is humble, lead by example, because I know, like I said, my creator will ask me to account for it. And I know that my creator, I must submit to him because I know one day he will stand me up and ask me, Aliyu, what did you do? So I will be fair, firm, and humble. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nominee. You may wish to take your bow and go. Distinguished senators, we have two other nominees that we need to screen before we conclude the screening exercise for today. Distinguished senators, we have before us two nominees from Mr. President that are here to be screened as members of the Federal Judicial Service Commission. We have Mr. Bola Saka Suleiman and Professor Gaji F. Ntata. I will therefore call on Professor Gaji F. Ntata to mount the podium to give a brief of herself, self-introduction and a kind of stating her resume before this august Senate. Professor, you may mount the podium. And for your information, she's the spouse of our former colleague here, Senator Ibrahim Shekarawi. She is his wife.
Good. Good afternoon, the President of the Senate.
Professor, you know, not only in the military, when you have a general, I understand that the wife is a rank ahead of, she's also a general, not only a general, but a rank. Well, we have a tradition here that once we have a senator or a member of House of Reps to be screened, that nominee is given the privilege, is given a privilege of not answering questions but to bow and go. Now, my attention has just been drawn by some senators here, particularly one of our elders and even the leader of the Senate, that courtesy should be extended to you. Is that a view as a lady, to ensure the gender, sensitivity. That is in addition to what I've said earlier. So is that the view of, is that a view? Do I? Those in favor, please say aye. Again, the ayes have it. So just tell us about yourself in a few seconds, and then you can take your bow and go.
Good afternoon. The Senate President and senators from Kano State, the Senate President again, and Senator Kawu Sumaila, and Senator Rufai Hanga, and I respect and greet all other distinguished senators as well. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Professor Gaji Fatima Dentata. I come from Kano State. I attended Dentata Primary School. I attended Government Girls College, Dala, and then proceeded to Kano State College of Arts and Science. I later proceeded to Bayero University, where I obtained my BA Ed, MSc, MEd, and Doctor of Philosophy, and had a postdoctorate research at the university, Wayne State University in the United States of America, where I became a fellow of the Senior Africa Research Scholarship. I've attended so many conferences. I was appointed a commissioner. I facilitated a lot of development issues for women, Fistula Fortnight campaign, where 2,000 women were operated in the North. And I've been engaged in so many humanitarian and philanthropic activities and academic lectures as well. I've graduated quite a number of undergraduate students, over 100, masters getting to 50, and about 10 doctors of philosophy, and currently engaged in researches on children and women issues. I think I'm married with 5 children.
Okay, well, she has stated a brief, resume. I think in line with the resolution of the Senate, you can take your bow and go, Professor. Saka Bolaji Seliman, you may wish to mount the podium to tell us about yourself.
Good afternoon, Deputy Senate President. Good afternoon, senators from the Senate Majority Leader, and good afternoon, senators and Senate Minority Leader, and other leaders of the House. I particularly greet my people, my senators from Kwara State, Senator Lola Asiru, Senator Soli Mustafa, and Senator Omar Sadiq. I greet everybody, sir. Okay. My name is Suleiman Sakabolaji. I'm from Gama, Ifelu, the local government area of Kwara State, and attended LEA Community Primary School, Gama, from where I got my first living school certificate before I proceeded to Offa Grammar School, where between 1971 and 75, where I obtained my West African School Certificate result. From there, I proceeded to Kwara State College of Technology, now Kwara Polytechnic, where I did my higher school certificate examinations. Then from there, I moved to Kwara, University of Lagos. And that was between 17th and 1981, where I obtained my BSc Honours Sociology. Then from there, I was enrolled to serve as in the one-year compulsory service. I was posted to Kano. I did my orientation in Wudi at Wudi. From there, I was posted to. Okay. From there, I was posted to Kazauri Federal Government Girls College. I had a brief spell there. I went to Mijibri Teachers College, Kano. And then I finished, immediately I finished my NYC in 1982. I joined the Kwara State Civil Service as a Administrative Officer 7, where I wrote through the ranks from level 8 to level 17 in the service before I retired voluntarily in 2015 as a director.
Mr. President of the Senate, Senator Ashiru Ilola, I will want to start by congratulating our President, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and the whole of Nigeria for bringing to an end the legal issue about the president today. We should all be happy about it. This is the time for us to turn a new leaf and concentrate on governance and national development. Secondly, I will want to be very thankful to the president for deeming it fit to nominate one of our person from State of Harmony, Kwara State, as a member of Judiciary Commission. Mr. Saka is a gentleman. You can see everything about him from his speech. He's cool-headed, well-educated. Anybody that attended of our grammar school, you can't gain admission to our grammar school those days if you are not very brilliant. And I'm sure he was exceedingly brilliant. That's why he was able to gain admission to our grammar school and proceeded to one of the best, or I would say the best university in Nigeria, University of Lagos. He graduated in University of Lagos with distinction. He then proceeded to join the Kwara State Civil Service, and he was there for upward of 30 years without blemish. I am very sure the product we are presenting to you will be of immense administrative contribution to the Commission. I recommend that it should be asked to take a leave of the Senate. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Nobody from the opposition side. Nobody is willing to ask. Okay, well, you just raised your hand. When I was looking there, okay, you are the last. The last was on the list.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, I make this comment on the nominee with a lot of nostalgia. The man is a great Akokite, and The University of Lagos is a citadel of excellence, and I know from the resume before me, Osaka is not an exception. I can only wish that the best always comes from the University of Lagos. And so I support your nomination, and I pray that you will be a good ambassador of the University of Lagos in your post of assignment when you are done with this screening. And so, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I want to just say congratulations in advance. Thank you.
You may take your bow. You may wish to take your bow and go. There's no question, no question at all. So you are lucky, Mr. Nominee. Nobody asked you any question. You are very, so you can take your bow and go. Clerk is approved. Now the approval. And I put the question. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Mr. Musa Adamu Aliyu for appointment as Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, ICPC? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, the ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Saka Bolaji Suleiman for appointment as member of the Federal Judicial Service Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Professor Gaji F. Tata for appointment as member of the Federal Judicial Service Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senate Leader.
Mike. Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I stand to move that the Senate do revert to plenary to enable the chairman report progress. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Those Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I stand to second the motion ably moved by the Senate leader that the House refer back to the plenary for the chair to report progress. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished senators, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole consider the request of Mr. President CNC for the confirmation of Mr. Musa Adamu Aliyu for appointment as Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. The nominee answered questions on topical issues, and the Senate approved the nomination of Mr. Musa Adamu Aliyu as Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Also, Mr. Saka Bolaji Suleiman was also, the Senate also, in the Committee of the Whole, consider the request of Mr. President CNC for the confirmation of nominees for appointment as members of the Federal Judicial Service Commission. The nominees answered questions on topical issues, and the Senate approved the nomination of 1, Mr. Saka Bolaji Suleiman as member, and Professor Gaji F. Dantata as member of the Federal Judicial Service Commission. Is these two items I read earlier a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Well, confirmation. Will the Senate confirm? Confirmation. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Musa Adamu Aliyu for appointment as Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC? Those in favor say aye, and those aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Musa Adamu Aliyu is hereby confirmed as Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Saka Bolaji Suleiman for appointment as members as a member of the Federal Judicial Service Commission. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The nomination of Saka Bolaji Suleiman is hereby confirmed as member of the Federal Judicial Service Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Professor Gaji F. Ntata for appointment as member of the Federal Judicial Service Commission? Those in favor say aye.